What's going on, y'all? And welcome to the Systems Lab Live Wednesday edition. We are live on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. In fact, I just hopped on a LinkedIn Live, or hopped off rather, a LinkedIn Live with the incredible Amelia Roberts, collaboration and relationship architect. So we had a really great conversation on how to organize yourself. Y'all know I could go in on how we organize ourselves, and it's a pure joy for me to have those types of conversations. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Oh, my little light. Come on, light. A little light fixture. Hold on now. Okay, here we go. Come on. Come on now. Got my arm all in the way. Okay, I think we got it. I was like, come on, light. All right, y'all. How are we feeling? How are things going? We are about to step into the fifth month of the year of 2022. So there's a very important question. How do we feel about the goals that we set for ourselves so far and the projects that we're working on? Okay, I want y'all to be honest in the chat. And once again, welcome to the Systems Lab Live, where we tackle everyday conversations about managing projects, leading teams, technology, processes, and everything in between. I'm very excited for you all to be here tonight because we are concluding our series that we've been on. I believe it's been about like 6 parts, right? Yeah, I think it's been a 6-part series on project management and entrepreneurship and how that can help to relieve stress, help you get more organized, why it's important for your business to be a project manager. Well, and I take that back. It's not like becoming a project manager. It's utilizing the project management process and leveraging it so that you're more organized. And so we are going to talk about how to create a risk log inside of ClickUp. Now, if you're here for Monday, I need you to go to the Monday live stream. Go to the Monday live stream, okay? That's where we get the breakdown of what is risk, how to identify it, some good examples. You don't want to miss it. I think it's about 50 minutes, but it's a good time. You could probably do like a couple of action items or some tasks and have it running in the background. The only thing that I show you all in the beginning of that show is Google Sheets and how you can use Google Sheets. So we will still go through the last of the Google products. I mean, there's so many of the Google products, but I wanted to make sure we went through Docs, Sheets, and now we're going to go through Google Slides and sort of what you should use for Google Slides, some of the tips and tricks of it. It's really quite marvelous, if you ask me. So tonight, as I said, we're going to go into ClickUp and we're going to talk about how you can manage risk and how you can list out risk and, keep track of it and all that good stuff. So we will get everything started, and I'm going to open up google.com/slides. And we're going to get started, folks. We're going to get started. Let me get the little ticker so that you guys know where we're at. We are in show and tell. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Show and Tell with Ask Ash, Show and Tell with Ask Ash is a segment of the show where we go inside of different tools and then we actually go into a deep dive into how you use it and then how you can apply a process to, again, help you to use that tool to leverage the process that you have outlined. So it's good stuff. We will share the screen because we're now going to talk about Google Slides, which is just like PowerPoint. Like Google Sheets is its parent is Microsoft Excel, just because Microsoft came first. Okay, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? I feel like I always get that wrong. I'm just going to be honest. Okay. All right. I'm glad we're having some fun tonight. And Google Docs is like Google Docs is like Microsoft Word. But I will say this for those of you that work in more corporate spaces or who just adopt Microsoft period, they do have a lot of collaboration features inside Word and PowerPoint and Excel, like lots. So kudos for Microsoft for just increasing their collaboration in these past few years. All right, folks, let's get this party started, shall we? Shall we? Okay. Presentation time, folks. Presentation time. We are going to, what you're looking at right here, and I'm actually going to take this overlay so you guys can see it. Ready? Google Slides. Again, very much like Microsoft PowerPoint, we have a few different things. It's great about, again, the whole Google thing, right? The workspace is that it's like it's like a mall. And it's like the mall that, traditionally speaking, you can literally spend all day and get what you need, so to speak, right? I'm doing that at a very high level. You can find something to eat. You can find clothing. You can even get new glasses if you need to. You can get shoes. What else can you do at the mall? You can get get a new cell phone. So that's what I equate the Google Workspace is that you can literally be in here and have everything that you need if you choose to actually manage your work, manage your projects, and collaborate. There's a lot, like I said, a lot of collaboration. And we are living in a hybrid remote work, agile environment. You'll know in a couple of the live streams ago, a few live streams ago, maybe it was last week or the week before, we talked about how many of the companies and organizations and also online business world adopting an agile mindset. For those of you that don't know what agile is, by definition, the definition itself is it's typically used in technology and software development. It's definitely a methodology that could be used in the NFT space, but essentially it's self-organizing and collaborating with team members to get stuff done more quickly. Again, I'm sort of using this in a very high level fashion because the past few months have been studying agile and it's been fantastic. I love that all these different concepts are coming together. So I look forward to learning about more agile and then talking about it within the context of the systems lab. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so as we see here, we are in Google Slides. And so you'll see right here is these are themes if you see on the right. So you have themes that are simple light, simple dark, streamline, focus, shift, momentum, paradigm, material, Swiss, beach day, coral. So they have a lot of themes that you can just click yourself and you can then, add it, right? And they have a lot of different ones. So if you import the theme, you can import a theme that you discover. So if you wanted another slide, you can go insert. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. New slide right here. Let me tell you, we are all learning today. So this is good, okay? Anytime you need a new slide, you click right here. This is exactly what I was looking for. I feel like was in another spot. Now, you also should know too that Google has upgraded a lot of their collaboration and smart chip technology to make it more collaborative. But this is where you can add section headers, and then you can also add columns, and you can just begin to arrange your information and how it is supposed to look by clicking this plus button if you just want a new slide, and then right here if you wanted a new slide with the layout. All right. So that's something that is a pro tip that I want you guys to take away, right? The plus sign and then the new slide with the layout gives you everything. Now, what are some of the use cases for Google Slides? I'm going to tell you. You can use Google Slides to create agenda slide decks for meetings, for presentation closeouts. If you're closing out a project, you can have a presentation that basically says, here's what happened with the project. Here's what we learned from it. Here are the results. This is a great way, again, to organize your information, start creating historical records of things. And what I always love to do with any client, with any presentation that I do, I'm going to create an agenda slide deck. You can always do it within Canva. You can always do it through some other means, but this makes it more interactive. If you have graphics, if you have, bold lettering, things of that nature. Of course, if you always want to use a Google Doc, or if you want to use, Microsoft Word, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm never saying not to do something, but again, if you want to do something that you just want to be a little bit more innovative, perhaps you want to use video inside, you can always do that. So we'll go over some of the key features within Google Slides that I believe you all should know about. So, again, we have something called, the layout and theme. And as you see right here, you have two options. You can click right here for layout, or you can click the plus sign with the layout, or just plain the plus sign. They also have transitions. Again, very similar, right, to Microsoft PowerPoint. So you could have none, or you can have dissolve. You could have it be medium. You can apply all to slides. If there were some objects, you can animate it if you'd like to. So that's the motion piece of it, in terms of the change and transition. When you want to just click to add a title, you can certainly do that. I'm going to go to the title slide. I'm going to say agenda, meeting agenda, and I'm going to put the date, April 27th, 2022. You can do something here where if you want to add your logo, you can certainly add a logo right here as well. Let's see. Where else do we want to go? I definitely want to add this right here. So insert. This is where it gets fun. You can certainly insert a image from the computer or the web, Google Drive, photos by URL, or your camera. Text box. If you want to add an additional text box, you can do that. Audio, if you have audio. That's also something. Video, same thing. A lot of people like to add video. They can play the video within the presentation. That offers a really nice touch. Shapes. You can, get super fancy, add something like this. Bloop. And here is the smiley face, if you wanted to have that. You can certainly add a bar chart, a column. You can also integrate that with Google Sheets. See, I'm thinking about this, thinking about that, but from Google Sheets. So that's great. So if you have data and you want to create a chart, you would just select from that Google Sheet and integrate it into the presentation. Love that. Absolutely. Hyperlink, which is great because if you send this presentation out, and we'll go over the share settings once again, but we've gone over it a few different times, but it's always good to just have a good reminder of your share settings. You can certainly link to something, and then that person can click on it, and then it'll take you to that URL. Slide numbers, I'm going to put apply, and it'll be on every single slide, as it is right here. Let's see, format, format slide. And that's where you can you can align, indent, put the bullets, do the formatting. You can go right here and you can have new slide, which is Command M or Control M on a PC. You also have duplicate slide, delete the slide, skip slide, move slide. You can move it up or move it down. You can change the background. You can also choose an image, right? So that's so many different ways in terms of designing and editing that you definitely want to see. So what else? What else? I want to go into tools. Did you know that there is a voice type to speaker notes where you can literally start talking and then the words are typed for you? Could you imagine that? So I'm going to say topic 1. I'm actually very curious about this. And then you can click here to speak and say, and I'm going to allow. This is a topic that I like to talk about where mostly we'll go over Google Sheets. And then I'm going to, and then you can say period or got it. Oh, I love that. How cool is this? So presentation making and creating just got so much cooler because now you have speech to text. So I love that. That's so cool. All right. Add-ons. Get add-ons. So I'm going to click on get add-ons and we're going to see what's in the Google Marketplace. All right. So some of these apps that people have created, I have not heard of them, but I imagine that someone that's looking for something like easy accents. So you can, I guess this is where you can insert accents depending on what you're typing, which is pretty cool. It looks like 10 million people have downloaded this. Oh, and then they have all of the different accents. I like that. Very good. So add-ons are great because you can integrate them with other types of apps. Google, not Google, they have Lucid Chart. Something that you can also integrate well is if you are a fan of Notion. I love a good Notion where you can, if you're using that for something and for your business, I particularly use Notion for all things that are like, if I have to take notes on things, like Google Drive is great for capturing client folders and then like managing SOPs. But then Notion is everything, Bible study, what else? Blessings and gratitude tracker. I have something I'm working on called like scriptures by faith. Oh, and then I also have something where I collect anytime I have an article that I want to read, I click on a button called Save to Notion. But I did a poll on my Instagram that asked people, we're going to start doing more of these show and tells of these different apps. Tell me what you want to see. And so Notion was one of them. But back to the subject at hand. Commercial break style. So when you want to do slideshow mode, you're going to click this little caret and you can do presenter view, which will start the slideshow with audience Q&A and view speaker notes. So if I go here, what will happen is I will have another window that has popped up, and I don't believe I'll be able to show it to you guys because it's a mini window. But basically the window has the speaker notes, and the speaker notes are there so I can literally present and then go to this one. And if I have speaker notes, it's right here. Like there's a little pop-up window. Oh, it says share this tab instead. Okay, this is the speaker notes, guys. This is the behind the scenes, folks. So if you go and you do that, that is really fun. This is audience tools. Ooh, answer all the right questions. Look at this, guys. Accepting questions. So you can put this right here. Oh my gosh, this is great. And you can copy and paste this. I wonder where this takes us to. And someone can submit a question. Oh my goodness. I'm going to ask a question. How do I manage my time better? I'm going to submit it. Okay, so I'm going to submit it. And then I'm going to present. That's really cool. How do I, okay, wait a minute. I'm going to share this tab instead. And I can, well, I wouldn't show that during presentation, but I'm just showing you guys for the back end. Like I can go literally look at this and then answer a question. That is pretty cool. Go ahead, Google. Go ahead, Google. That's nice. That's really, really good. That's really good. This is really great. Oh, and then look at this, guys. It shows up right here. How do I manage my time better? And then that's how you can manage Q&A. Who would have thought it? My goodness. My goodness. Okay. Let me stop sharing. And I'm actually going to go back to the presentation at hand. And we're going to get to ClickUp in just a minute, folks. We're going to get to ClickUp in just a minute. Let me go back into the slides. So this is something interesting because if I go back, oh, I'm in the wrong. Okay, hold on now. Let's see. I'm going to open this up. Okay, now we're back in business. All right, let me share my screen once more. Okay, I think this is it. All right, cool. Okay, here we are. All right, I love this feature of the Google Workspace. Well, I'm going to show you three things. Number one, comments. Add a comment at somebody. Maybe they need to address something. You want them to update something. Boom. This is cool because you can literally present in a Google Meet meeting. So if you have a meeting, you can do that, present using a meeting code. If you have a code, boom, you put it in and you can present right then and there. Sharing, which is caring. Oh, I got to name it. Meeting agenda. And then what you do here is this is always one of my things that I think is super, super important. Number one. This is what you need to do. You need to, when you're going to go and share your presentation, here's what you want to do. You want to figure out who needs this access to this document, and then what level of access do you need it. So right here is anyone within my company has it, and then I don't need to do anything with it. However, if I wanted to be restricted and share this document with someone else, then I wanted just to have it close hold with just a few people, then I'm just going to add them to this document right here. But then if I'm like, anyone in the world, the whole entire world, then I'm going to add him, and then I'm going to take this link, copy it, and then send it on their way. So it's easy peasy. And this is where you put the names of people. You put them right there. Cool. This right here says editors can change permissions and share. Viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print, and copy. So that's why it's so important. Understand the level of sensitivity of your document. Decide who needs access, and then at what level. Everybody copy? Very, very good. All right, so we're going to get straight into it right now. I'm going to stop sharing, and then we're going to get into ClickUp, and we're going to go into risk management. All right. I'm going to bring this up. Here we are. Risk law. All right. Here we go. Here we go. So what you're seeing right here inside of ClickUp, which is a project management tool, what you're seeing right here is you are seeing a project risk log. So I'm going to just stretch this out a bit so that you all can see it. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this right here so that you all can see it better. But I've created a risk log. And so what that is that is a way for you as the lead, as a team member, to really start to mastermind and think of ways to look at, well, what will happen on this project? You know, what are the potential upsets? What are the things that could go wrong? What have I not thought about? So that's really important just for you to start to think about right now. So you want to think about the projects that you're working on, and then start to write down on a piece of paper, what are some of the potential issues, those uncertainties that could negatively affect your project and the outcomes at hand. This could be an event that you are planning, and a number of things can happen with events. As you see right here for this risk I have is that the speakers don't show up. And so that is a risk. With every risk, you want to come up with a solution. And so that is really important, that you're thinking of ways that you can eliminate that risk. So what we'll do here is we will actually go and build this out from scratch. I'm going to click the plus sign, and I'm going to click on new list and name it risk log 2. All right. I'm actually going to have all of the custom fields from this space right here. All right. I'm going to apply it. All right. Okay. So what I've done here is a couple of 101 items that I should share about ClickUp. Some foundational things to understand is that you have something, a hierarchy, rather, that you should definitely be aware of if you're not familiar with ClickUp. So a space is representative of a department within your business. Think of it like a state. And so each of these spaces right here, like you see Andrea's Team Hub, that is what I would equate to a state. And then the folder is a city or the capital. And then the list is like a municipality or a county. And so if you look right here, I created a list. And one thing that you should also know is that lists and folders don't always have to go hand in hand. The whole aspect of a space is that it contains all similar information. So Andrea's Team Hub is really a client space with many different aspects to the project itself. So you have something where it's the internal work schedule of the team. It is the actual team operations and how the team operates for the project and all of these different things. So everything is the Andrews Team Hub serves as an umbrella, so to speak. It serves as an umbrella. So that's really important to note. So for purposes of this right here, we're focusing on the list. Then there's something called list statuses. And because this is a project management tool, what you're really looking at is workflow and really looking at how do I manage this information and this work that will actually go from start to finish. Like, so what's that cadence? What's that rhythm of how the information will flow? And it's usually at a high level to do, in progress, and complete. But for the purposes of this, I just want to have one status and it's risk. I just really want to use it like this. We're gonna get into, how you can, make this in progress and all of that. But I really just want to utilize this as just this is just a risk. That's all that I want to do for the status. So that's why this is a little bit different than your average ClickUp space. So that's how I'm using the statuses here. So one thing that in terms of the risk log that's important to note is that you want to put an owner, which we'll leave as assignee. That's the person that is going to own it, meaning that they're going to solve for X. Then there's a due date. There should be some sort of deadline for you to be able to solve the problem, to actually mitigate it or eliminate it. So I should also remind you all that risk management and managing of risks, it's not a one-time thing. It is something that happens continuously. You should absolutely be touching base every week at minimum of the risks that are happening within the project and then how you're going to solve for them. So that's why you want to have a deadline. Priority, I think that is something that can definitely be useful. A high priority risk, a low priority risk, a medium priority risk, and there's a way that you can really figure out how to tackle the risks according to their ranking. So I'm going to click the plus sign, which is going to add a custom field. Custom fields are literally, my friends, something that is so useful inside of ClickUp. So what I did, what's really cool about ClickUp is that if you are within a particular space and you want to utilize statuses or views, you can literally import them and you don't have to recreate the real wheel from scratch. So I'm going to put the risk description. I'm going to put the areas of impact. I'm going to put I'm going to put the risk description, the assignee, the areas of impact. And I'm also going to put right here the impact, the probability, and risk level. So I'm going to explain all of these right here. We're going to go with impact. And I'm going to go with probability. And then risk level. And and this right here. So here's what we're doing, folks. The risk description, I'm going to make it super easy. And we're going to go with the virtual event one or the virtual event example. Come through memory. You know what I was about to say? Come on. I feel like I may need my Earl Grey. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So here we go. What's a risk? You know what? Let's scratch the virtual event. I'm going to go with NFT. Yes, I'm going to go with an NFT. Let's do that. Let's manage the risks of creating and launching an NFT. How fun. Let's do that. This is that. Yeah. Okay. So a risk for an NFT, which, okay, let's define that. Non-fungible token. Okay, it's a digital asset. It's one of one, and that's where we'll stop. We'll have to do a whole another thing about that at a different time. Okay, so a risk of creating and selling an NFT. What's a risk? One risk is, oh, no one will buy my NFT. That's a risk. So describe it. So I think this is really good to be very specific about the description of what you'll do. This is a text box, by the way, which is something that you can add via the custom field. So if you go and into the plus button right here, and then you can add text box, then you can add the text box. Okay. So you're going to go right here into risk description. Man, no one will buy my NFT. Probably make some folks sad, right? I know it would make me sad. So what can I do? What can I do? So, and then that goes into the solution piece, which is again something that we'll go inside of this task and write what the solution is, which I love. So the risk description, if no one buys my NFT, then I do not make any money. Really simple, high level. Okay. So, and I'm going to, pull this out. The impact. Okay. The impact. So that's really, this is how we look at it. The impact. So the probability right here is the likelihood that it's going to happen. Okay. That's what probability is. I want to start there. What you want to do is for the probability, that is, the impact. That's the, let me go back. Probability is the likelihood of the risk occurring. Okay. The impact is again looking at, what exactly, like, is the impact going to be high? Is it going to be low? Like what does that impact look like? When we're talking about risk. Okay. That's the most important piece of it. And so we're looking at it from the perspective of how is this risk going to be different from what we've realized. So, okay, so we got it right. So probability is the likelihood, and then we have the impact. And so we're looking at that and saying, all right, what's the consequence of this? That's what we're looking at when we're looking at the impact piece of it. So typically you will write some sort of scale of like 1 to 5, 1 being low, 5 being high. So we're going to say it's a 4. And then the impact, we're going to say it's a 4. Okay. The risk level is 16. So that would mean if we went over here that this is a urgent risk. That's how you start using the priority flags, right? This is how you start using that. Now, the areas of impact, okay, and I'm going to say this is money. So when I mean by areas of impact, meaning that a risk is always associated with a particular aspect or area of the project. Is it going to affect the people? Is it going to affect the actual schedule so that the NFT is launched on time? What about the deliverable itself? What about the people factor? So that's really important. So here's something that we can do another risk on. Another risk is not enough staff to launch NFT, or not enough people, not enough team members to launch NFTs. Okay. So risk description. Here we go. The description is I am a team of one, and I am nervous about creating, selling, and managing the NFT, without any help. Okay. Boom. That is the risk. What's the likelihood? We're just going to say it right now. That's a 5. What's this right here? This is a 5. This is 25. This, my friends, that too is an urgent risk. This is also people. And this also is, I feel like this is also people and money at the same time. I think this is people and money. You want to put a due date on this? So I'm going to put a due date on this. No one will buy the NFT. And I'm actually going to put it, this is the 5th. And I'm actually going to go and I'm going to put this right here on the 31st. But you have, and I'm going to do a third risk, and then we're going to look at the solution for it. So what's another one? Don't know enough about marketing to sell the NFT. So the risk description is I lack social media and digital content creation to promote and sell my NFT. Okay. The probability. Well, we're going to make it a 5. Oop. Make it another 5. It's 25. And we're going to go with this one. We're going to say it's money as well. And we're going to make this as an urgent one. So what you'll want to do too is, you can have a mixture of highs, of mediums, and lows as well. Right now, there's a lot of highs because NFTs are risky. So NFTs can be risky. A lot of fun, and if done the right way, you would definitely be able to, get in the process and really have a really gratifying experience. So I'm going to open up this task right here. So I'm going to open up no one will buy my NFT. And what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go into the description of this and categorize the solution. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to actually go right here and talk about solution. No one will buy my NFT. So one of the things that I could do is really start to make a plan. You can do this in a couple different ways too. This can be a checklist or a subtask if you would like to. I haven't really thought about doing that. But I think for right now, we will make this into a list, and you can assign someone, again, a ownership of this particular NFT. Excuse me, of this particular risk. So one is create marketing plan. Number 2 is, well, maybe even before that, research strategies on successful NFT launches. Create marketing. And I'm going to say create budget plan or estimate, because I think that's also going to be a really great way to know how you can see how your money is going to be spent. And then that kind of leads into your marketing plan and then where you kind of need to navigate that. Okay. And also maybe too is community education, like educating my tribe. That's a really good way too. So this is where you start coming up with the solutions of the risk, and you can document it right here. And then you can have conversations with people and then say, hey, what do you think about this initial plan? And then you can start having that conversation there. So this is exactly how you can go about creating a risk log, and you can have, again, your assignees. You can name it, add the risk description, the probability, the likelihood of it of occurring, the impact, the risk level. And so this is a formula. So 4 times 4 is 16. And so that gives you then the level. And so maybe this right here, I'm actually going to put it as high. And if you want to, then you can then filter or group by priority. I'm actually going to, and then you can actually see what is an urgent and then what's high. And then that will give you a really good sense of what risks you actually need to go and start to work on and start creating a solution for. So that's how you do that. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you as you begin to look at your projects and start documenting these types of processes. And again, this risk management exercise, this risk log exercise, grab your team members. You can do this within an hour. Really get in there and strategize as you're planning, and have a way for you to document this and then start assigning people to tackle the solutions for it. Tackle it and be able to come up with the solutions, and you can then protect your project from being derailed by these tasks, these risks right here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Systems Lab. Next week, brand new month, brand new topics. Very excited to talk with you about those. Make sure that you're tapped into the Systems Lab crew by texting live to 626-722-5444. And so thank you so much for your time tonight. That's all we have. No challenge of the week tonight. No challenge of the week. We're going to get you guys rested up for next week. But this has been phenomenal. Let me know what comments that you have, what questions you have. I definitely want to hear from each and every one of you. So thank you all so very much, and looking forward to connecting with you next week. Also, too, you all should know, too, that the new season of the podcast has been released. It is The Power of Team, and Conversations with Ask Ash is now on all major podcasting streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, and definitely go and tap in and tune into The Power of Team, and you're going to love it. We are dissecting the system behind the hiring, the firing, the cultivating, the developing of teams and leaders. And I'm excited because I have leaders, and then I also have leaders and their teams. So they're going to give you the inside scoop into their process and share with you some really great information that's going to help you as a leader within your organization. So this is exciting. The first episode is yours truly, and then after that we roll through with our interviews. So very much excited about that. Thank you guys so much once again, and we'll talk soon. Have a great night.